All right, where to begin? So this might be a confusing topic because I didn't maybe explain very well, but basically what I did was I wanted to plant Paw Paw. Okay, so I got this Paw Paw here is probably in its 5th or 6th year, because when I got it, it was already a true sapling. And now, having germinated successfully some seeds last year that were stratified, sent to me, I germinated, planted, they sprouted into, I'm considering them seedlings. They were so small and so fragile. And I got 5 over in New Hampshire. And then the seeds from Kentucky, out of those 20 seeds, 5 germinated, and then only 3 ended up growing into saplings. So I was left with 8. And so they were so fragile and small. What I did was I built this, I extended this, and I buried all those pots. And then I tried to envision, the lowlands of Pennsylvania and alluvial forest. And I tried to just put forest loam down and try to make this similar to that to see if they can overwinter. And maybe Maine is just too cold, but they do grow Paw Paw. People are cultivating them all the way up in Canada too. Well, not all the way, just north of me a little bit. And so you can do it. I'm just trying to figure out how. The point that I'm trying to make here is that this was already an established tree, basically. So it could have been 3 years old when I got it. And so it was 3 winters this past winter, as far as I know. I'll have to look at my notes exactly and go back and look at the old photos and stuff. Either way, this is like its 3rd or 4th summer. Let's say 3rd or 4th spring, rather, going into summer. And it's doing good. Okay, so this thing is gonna be just fine now. I babied it the first summer. I babied it the first winter. Thought it died a couple times, and it survived. It came back. And it was real light. I used this cage here, wrapped with some burlap and stuffed some leaves in there. But you know what? It was already a true sapling. The rest of these little tiny seedlings, I'm calling them, and they did have leaves and stuff, I don't know. They might not make it. So if they do not come up, the conclusion I'm going to make is I know that I can germinate them and get them to sprout into little tiny trees, if you will, with leaves. They're going to have to be brought inside until they're like this thing was, where, they were really taken care of the first year, 2nd year, possibly the 3rd year. I don't know. Because this thing was sent to me from down south, and likely, a nursery. So a whole different experience than taking wild seeds from various sources. And so we'll see what works. But I split them up into 8 different seedlings, and then I put seeds directly in the ground, and I put seeds in pots in the ground, and I directly planted some seeds elsewhere on my property, and I'm trying to see what works here for me, if I could figure this out. And all in all, this is technically New York genetics. Those are Pennsylvania genetics. And I got some Kentucky genetics, and I do not know what I picked up in New Hampshire, but I went to a nursery in New Hampshire, and this really nice, cool woman, she was badass, man. Her name was Jill. She was awesome. She's like, so you really are a tree nut. And she's like, come on. And she took me in this golf cart. We rode out into basically the forest of this nursery, botanical garden type place. And she gave me a big pot like this, and there was 5 Paw Paws. And she told me that theirs, I think she used the term self-propagating. So it's confusing because there's contradictory information, and I don't fully understand yet. And I'm sure other people are experts and can tell me in the comments or say some more about it. But in my mind, I was trying to get as much diversity as possible. So I don't know. And I don't know what they have in New Hampshire at that place, but I'm going to keep going back until I get this figured out and have at least 2 or 3 or 4 different cultivars of Paw Paw established at my place. And then I will have figured it out. And that will be really exciting. I mean, it's been exciting, but I just hope that some of these seedlings come up. I mean, I know technically they're probably saplings, but they were so fragile. If they don't come up, then I'll know. You got to bring them in the house before winter comes. And that will be my conclusion. And then I'll, keep trying until I figure it out. But I wanted to show folks and talk about exactly I was trying to do with these Paw Paw. And so that's everything in a nutshell.